yeah, from like on the field, how was that adjustment? Because again, you came in under John Neal, which again we'll get off into later. I think well after your what was it? Did you play 1 or 2 years with them and then it was a coaching change, or was it just 1 year with Coach Smith?
Yeah, I played 1 year with Coach John L. and his staff, and I'm grateful for Coach John L. for giving me an opportunity to have a scholarship,
Right.
and always will be forever indebted to him for that.
So this is, I guess, I see one of the adverse moments because I was looking up some stuff as I was doing my research. And your freshman year, you had 4 starts, so it wasn't like you were just playing special teams or just in the background. You were like actually playing to the point where you started versus I think with Notre Dame, Michigan. You started in or I'm not sure if this was your sophomore year or your freshman year, but you were like starting, and then it was a coaching change, and now it was a different ball game. So I guess you talk about a little bit about that from like an adversity standpoint, and then what was going through your head as you were kind of going through that process.
Yeah, I think my freshman year I was supposed to redshirt.
Okay.
That was something where unfortunately probably about a couple weeks before camp had started, one of the corners ahead of me had pretty much a unbelievable. I mean, it was just a horrible injury going into the year.
Gotcha.
So what ended up happening is I had to grow up quickly, and I started to really get invested in playing as a freshman early on special teams, then got into some of our nickel packages, dime packages.
Okay.
Really learned. Then next year, when we had the coaching change,
Oh, yep. Yeah. Okay. That's
when I was able to prove myself and really get comfortable and understand the system. And an opportunity opened up for me. And I didn't look back, and there was an opportunity where I actually started in some really marquee games for our program, the Michigan game, Notre Dame, various aspects of, when you look at it, started against Boston College in our bowl game.
whole game. Yep.
And some other really key critical starts against Iowa. I was actually named Defense Attack Force Player of the Week.
Wow.
Against Iowa. And then, I would say my next year is kind of when adversity kind of struck, was when I got pretty much with my knee, and really couldn't ever bounce back from how I was normally moving around. And, obviously as a defensive back, swift hips, good knees matter.
Yeah. That's big. No, you're right about that. So then I guess mentally, how were you dealing with that? Did you ever thought like, okay, just give me some time, I'm gonna get back? Or did you know at that point, like I don't think I'll be able to get back to that, pre-injury form?
Yeah, I think, there were times where I would say, mental health is such a huge thing right now and always will be and should be for the duration of life. I think there are probably times where I didn't even realize that I was anxious or depressed or had no clue.
Really?
I was just trying to just battle through it in terms of what that could look like and trying to be strong. But there were times where I really didn't know, what was going to happen.
Okay.
And I'm a very upbeat, optimistic, I told you who I am is rooted in faith,
Right.
And that comes with that. However, I will say there were times where it was like, man, what will this look like for me if the doors close?
Right.
And that's why I'm in the work that I'm in now, to really help student athletes see so much more for them than just what we have to showcase as student athletes on the field, courts, tracks, all the areas in which we compete. But there's a shelf life on this, and you have to be ready to compete in life. And if you take those same transferable skills that we learned from coaching and all those areas of focus and ability to really lean into what is your gifts, man, it's an unbelievable experience when you find that out and you apply those pieces. And that's why I do what I do, so that I can be a better sounding board and help student athletes get through these tough times where you can't see an end. Because you couldn't tell me after my sophomore year I wasn't going
to the NFL.
I was going, and I was ready. You start to see all the where you fall in these charts and how many. Then you really, there's only so many slots, man. In that room, you're in the chair. You're like, I want those slots.
Yeah, you're right.
But it is helping a lot of different ways to mask that. But